Everybody, my name's Ed. Okay, so we're gonna do another random comics review or walkthrough. This time we've got Butcher Baker Righteous Maker by Joe Casey and Mike Huddleston. This is number one from 2011. It's weird to think that this comic is actually about 10 years old now. So, of course, Joe Casey, uh, kind of a popular Marvel DC writer for a while. Did a lot of stuff. Did X-Men. I think he was working on Superman. Uh, what else did he do? Oh, did Wildcats. He's been in and out of comics recently, or for the last probably at least last 10 or 15 years, mostly because he's gotten work in animation. He's one of the creators of Ben 10, and is it Generation X? Not Generation X, Generator X, something like that. I haven't seen the comic or the show, but yeah, he's had some success with television, so he doesn't really need comics, but he still does a lot of independent work, off and on. So, and this is and this is one of them. So it's a kind of a weird comic. A lot of the weird things that he was doing, he's done this. He did Godland. He did one called Bounce, and they feel like this weird sort of 70s throwback, part like 70s underground comic, part uh 70s trippy comic. Some things seem like halfway between something like Jim Starlin's uh, Warlock or Captain Marvel, and then part that part, Freak Brothers or something like that. So anyway, uh, here we go. The art here too is kind of outrageous and underground and avant-garde ish. But so we start off with Dick Cheney and Jay Leno, and they're going to Plato's Retreat. It's kind of swingers club or whatever, and they're coming to get Butcher Baker Righteous Maker. He's in the middle of entertaining some fans or guests or whatever. And the idea is he's kind of this retired superhero from the 70s, who drives a big like monster rig and stuff like that. Uh, I won't show you. I won't show you that page. I don't know. I might get a strike against me, or maybe I could do it this way. But anyway, they kind of want to recruit him. This thing I'm hook, this thing that's covering up my hand. Part of enticing it is they bring him like 3 hookers. All right. So here he's kind of having some flashbacks to the old days when he used to drive his rig and fight bad guys. You kind of jump back and forth through time. Butcher's telling the story in the present and in the past. And here's a case where you've got this Sheriff P. Roscoe type character chasing Butcher in his rig. You have this kind of Smokey the Bandit kind of chase scene going on. So lots of fun and laughs. But anyway, Dick Cheney and Jay Leno basically tell Butcher that his old enemies are in a jail cell and they've been locked up for years. But the taxpayers supposedly don't want their taxes paying to house these guys. So the mission, allegedly, is to break these guys out of jail and then murder them. Okay? There's a funny scene here where he's having another flashback. We saved the president of reality. From the pan-dimensional affirmation parade. Amorphous Dairy Dues. It's just pretty funny. Like I said, this comic is really weird and really bizarre and trippy. And the art kind of looks like it's part cartoony, part Bill Sienkiewicz, but it's pretty wild. It's also pretty wild, this back matter here. So this is basically Joe Casey doing a stream of conscious rant where he's just talking about how awesome it is to be an artist and to be a creator, and how great comic books are, and it's all kind of comics, fuck yeah, and it's all this type of thing. So here he says, Gonzo back matter, and that's an apt description. He's really writing in this very sort of Hunter S. Thompson style. Here's a preview of some more trippiness coming up. My hand's covering genitalia here. Next on deck for Butcher Baker. The fine print. The following fuck ton of imagery is by all reliable accounts a cacophony of the highest order of comic book hype. Alright. So yeah, so here's the kind of previews here. This is kind of odd because I'm in a public place here, and people are kind of filling them. So people are jogging by, people walking by with their kids. I have to got to be careful. First of all, it's weird anyway that I'm sitting here talking about comics into a camera, and I'm like holding things up. I'm sure people are like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" And I'm holding a particularly raunchy comic book at that. But okay. Oh, here's some ads for Carbon Gray. This is a comic I'm curious about. I think it's supposed to be set in some sort of alternative present where the Soviets run the world or something like that. I'm not 100% certain what this is. Or is it an alternative future? And I need to kind of do some research into this comic. Madman, Skull Cookers. Alright. Alright, so then that's pretty much it. Here's to the old days. Like I said, it's kind of a pretty fun comic book. I think it only ran for like 7 or 8 issues. But yeah, it's kind of a fun thing. We've got this kind of mustache, cigar smoking, badass dude, but he's also dope smoking, groupie, shagging MFer, coming out to save the day against these kind of crazy people. There's a lot of satire going on here, obviously, a lot of humor, but a lot of action. It's just weird and crazy and over top, and it's actually pretty fun. So, all right, so that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. You have a good day.